Hi guys, my name is Matti Sulanto and I'm a photographer. Welcome to another video. If you follow this channel, you may remember that in one of my recent videos I told you that I'm going to buy two new cameras and two new camera systems. And again, if you've been watching my videos, you already know that one of the new cameras / camera systems is the Lumix S5 Mark II X and a couple of lenses. And in this video I'm gonna show you the other new camera / camera system that I bought. And here it is, my new camera system number 2. This is the Nikon Z5. I've been wanting to buy a Nikon Z camera for a while, for mainly two reasons. First, I have a soft spot for Nikon cameras because I shot my very first commercial assignment back in 1983 on a Nikon camera. It was a film camera, of course, and after that I used quite a few Nikon film cameras over the years. And also my very first my very first digital camera was also a Nikon. It was the D1, and after that I used quite a few Nikon DSLRs for commercial work and also for my personal work. And the second reason I wanted to get a Nikon Z is just to get to know the Nikon Z system a little bit better. But I haven't been really able to decide which camera model to buy. Up until last winter, back in Kuala Lumpur, I was able to borrow my good friend Robin Wong's Z5 camera, and after using that camera for a few days, I pretty much made up my mind that as soon as I get back to Finland, I'm gonna buy the Z5 because it's such an impressive entry-level camera. And by the way, I'm gonna put a link for Robin's channel down below, just in case you are not aware of his channel. Please take a look. He's such a nice guy and he has some really excellent videos too. And now back to the Z5. Like I said, it's such an incredibly impressive entry-level camera. It's weather sealed, dual card slots, IBIS and whatnot. It has pretty much everything a regular photographer can hope for. And this is the entry-level Nikon full-frame camera. I almost could not believe how good this camera is when I started shooting on Robin's camera back in Kuala Lumpur. Of course, for example, the sensor is not the latest BSI sensor, but who cares? The image quality is still very good. This is kind of an old model already and probably soon to be replaced by another better model. But I still would not hesitate to recommend this for anyone looking for an affordable full-frame camera. It has everything you need, unless you have some very specific needs like very high burst rate or whatever. And also the lens situation is pretty good right now. This, for example, this is the Tamron 28 to 75mm f2.8 G2 lens, the very new Tamron lens for Nikon Z mount. This lens is not mine, by the way. It's on loan from Focus Nordic Finland. Big thanks, Focus Nordic, for letting me borrow this lens. And there's gonna be a video about this lens soon, so stay tuned. So, yes, the lens situation is also pretty good. Tamron, and I think also Sigma is now making lenses for Nikon Z mount, and there are all those fantastic Chinese manufacturers like Viltrox, TTI Design and others also making lenses for the Nikon Z mount, so you don't have to buy those sometimes pretty expensive, also very excellent Nikon lenses. They are great lenses, but if you don't want to spend that much, now you have also some other more affordable alternatives, and I think that's very important to have some choice. If you only have the first party options, I think it kind of makes the system less desirable, at least for me. Of course, this is not a perfect camera. There is no such thing as a perfect camera or a perfect product. But overall, I think it's a really nice camera. In the video that I shot in Kuala Lumpur, I'll put the link up here just in case you haven't seen it, please take a look. In that video I mentioned some things that I like in this camera and some things I don't like. But since then I have figured out another really weird thing that I really don't like. And it's the aspect ratio, how the camera bakes in the aspect ratio even in RAW files. So if I shoot RAW and I want to use, let's say, 16:9 ratio or any other aspect ratio other than the native sensor aspect ratio that is 3:2. Nikon has decided to bake in the aspect ratio. So if I'm shooting, let's say, 16:9 aspect ratio and I'm shooting RAW, I can't fine-tune the aspect ratio in post because it's baked in. I can only see or capture the pixels that are included in the aspect ratio. All other cameras preserve or capture the whole image area, the whole sensor area. And when I open the picture in my favorite preferred post-processing app, I can see the aspect ratio that I chose when I took the picture, but I can still fine-tune the crop, and I can use the full area too if I want to. But Nikon chose to do it differently, and it is something that I simply cannot understand. Why did they do it like that? If I shoot, let's say, square format on this camera and I open up the RAW picture, it is square and there is nothing I can do about it. I can of course crop it smaller than that, but I can't see the full sensor area anymore. And it is really weird, and it's hard to imagine that a traditional camera company decided to make it like that. Okay, that was a long rant about the aspect ratio, but I think it's good to acknowledge that and keep in mind if you buy this camera, or I think it's the same with every Nikon camera, and if you decide to use other than the native aspect ratio and you just assume that you are going to still get the full image area, all the pixels, and it's going to be a bit of a bummer when you realize that you only got the area inside the crop or inside your selected aspect ratio. But after all that rant about the aspect ratio, this is still a very, very nice camera for any, let's say, basic photographer without any super specific needs. I can't really recommend this for video. You can get some really nice looking footage on this camera, but in 4K mode there is a very heavy crop. And I think if you shoot video on a regular basis and you buy a full frame camera, I think you'd want to have the full sensor area also for your videos. That's why I can't really recommend this for video, even though the video footage looks really nice. So far I haven't really shot that much on this specific camera because I've been here in Finland now for about 4 weeks and it's been kind of busy organizing everything and getting my Finnish life sort of back together after being away for so many months. But I'm gonna be shooting on this camera a lot during this summer, and there's gonna be more Nikon topics on this channel as well, so stay tuned. This is all I have for you in this video. I hope this was helpful or entertaining or something like that. And if it was, please do consider buying me a cup of coffee. There's a link down below for that. If you don't live in Finland, thank you so much, and I'll definitely see you soon in the next one.